battery situation. It's boy, hard to read. Still -1 degree centigrade, minus almost 2 now on the one battery and 0 C on the other. And I'm not going to even try to start the inverter charger at this point. It's just too cold. Okay, I bought a rubber heated floor mat for the van to replace the heating pads I have in there right now, because the heating pads, restart them every 2 hours. They turn off automatically after 2 hours. This thing stays on forever. Reviews say that it can have an oily, rubbery smell. So I'm going to start it here in the house and see what happens, and then maybe put it out in the garage or mudroom. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in the garage or mudroom now, so I don't stink up the house. This has been on for at least 2 hours. Warmth. Yeah, I have not stepped on the heating pads, and I would say this is probably a little, not quite as hot, but it's still pretty darn good. I think it's going to work well in there. Smells as advertised in the comments, but I think it'll dissipate after a couple days. We're just going to leave it here. Okey-dokey. Okay, folks, here's what I've come up with. Here's the foot heating pad that I've placed against the battery. There's the plug right there, and we'll put as much of the cord inside there as we can. Underneath, it's hard to see, but see where that red tape is? That's a piece of that same 3/4 inch foam holding up in place, and you can see that right there it's pinched, right there it's pinched. It's not going to drop down. And now it's a question of putting the cover back on and see if it fits okay. Okay, note the change in what I had from the previous video. I had to do that because there is a piece right here that sticks out that I didn't account for. So yeah, couldn't do it that way. But this is actually better because that's going to be a much longer piece holding it against the bottom piece. We should be good with that. Okay, folks. Thanks. Okay, I'm doing a little science experiment here. You can see the battery temperatures are pretty low. You know, below one's minus 1.7 C, the other 0.1 C. So battery is not going to charge at this temperature, and the charger inverter shut itself off. So what I'm going to do is go to Target and buy a portable USB fan and see if I can't charge up the heat up the inverter charger area and the batteries with just the engine heat being blown into the cabin and then moved back to the back. Now, one of the problems is, you can see inside right now, temperature is 49 degrees, air temperature, and I have put the bed at its lowest position. 2020 hindsight, I should have kept the bed up to let more airflow through there, but I didn't. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is start the engine, drive over to Target, hook up the fan near the inverter charger, and just blow as much heat back here as I can and see what happens. Alright, check in later. Alrighty, look at this. Temperature on the batteries is above 20 C, and we're charging. Hard to see there, but we're at 91%. Everything's normal. Isn't that cool? Now, how did we get there? Look right here. I don't know if you can see the extension cord coming out of the window, and I had to plug it up with blankets because the Mercedes nanny controls, because the cord was sticking out the top of the window, as soon as it got close, it come right back down. So I got it as close as I could and then stuffed some blankets and towels up in there. Excuse me, just towels, no blankets. And back here, I raised the bed so I can get that heater in there that I own instead of going out and buying a new one, and put that fan in there to blow air across where the inverter charger is. keep that temperature up. And then the cable for the battery blanket that I have on there, or it's actually a foot warmer that I bought from Amazon for 50 bucks, is attached there and working. I think that's what's really producing the heat for that thing. And I don't know what the prediction is for tonight as far as how low it's going to drop, but I'd say we're in good condition here. I lowered the timber, whatever that timber thing is called for the heater, so that it's not running near as hot. I had that up to 74 degrees, and it's back down, so it'll be in the 60s for that guy to work. But I'm going to leave this heater on, and the battery, the fan, which is just running off a couple double A's, and yeah, I think we're good to go. Real test will come when it drops below zero or near zero again, and I'll have this set up and we'll see what happens. Cheers, folks.